So today I just thought of doing a live video and kind of covering on a topic that's very commonly found in my practice. I see a lot of patients who are always exhausted and they have this chronic fatigue syndrome, and they also have a lot of this inflammation in their body and joint issues, although there's a connection with the physical body like the misalignment and stuff like that, but there's also a mental connection to that. There's some deeper relationship from what they're experiencing in their body and how they actually run their day. Okay, so what I wanted to show here is just to create some more awareness of how these patients function in terms of why they're experiencing all these exhaustion, and how it's basically how they're setting their intentions for the day. So most of them have a lot of things that they're doing. So they're basically so busy. They have a lot of roles in a day, right? So they're switching. Let's say, I'm just going to give you an example. Let's say they're a mother, they have children, they have a business, or they work in a 9 to 5 job. It doesn't matter. But the problem is they have a hard time switching from one role to another role to another role and to another role. So they're dragging the energy that's coming from here into their other role. Okay, so let's say they just finished their 9 to 5 job, right? And they're getting to the next, let's say they're going to see their children. So they're still thinking about their job in their mind and as they're with their children. So their energy is very that just kind of going all over the place. So they cannot give that 100% attention and have that great time with their children. Okay, so this is what I want to talk about is how to become aware and how to set clear intention. What can you do on a regular basis so you're not feeling depleted or exhausted at the end of the day? Okay, and it's very easy like to get into that trap where your energy is lagging. It's like you're just dragging everything with you, and it's so normal to people, they can't even recognize that they're doing. Okay, and this video is really good for people who are also as a business owners. If you're a doctor, if you're a lawyer, or if you're a healer, speaker, writer, it doesn't matter. If you are like you're finding a hard time even like focusing. Let's say you're good at work, but you're not good at home with your family. Okay, and this is the key, because you might be so great at your job, but when you come home, you're not that person anymore, right? So you're having a hard time to give that quality care with your family, because you're still thinking of creative ideas. Let's say you're a writer and you think of all these ideas, and these ideas are still coming when you're with your children, and you're like, shoot, I need to write this information down. But what you can do is, there's also this fear. So let's say you're a writer and there's this fear, what if I miss that information and it's not going to come back later, right? The good thing is about our brain is you can program your brain very easily. So let's say you just finished writing a paragraph or one page, and now you're done with that. Now you're moving on and taking care of your children. What do you do? So you have to consciously, intentionally tell yourself, I am choosing right now to stop writing, and I'm choosing to be an amazing parent, and I'm gonna have a fun, joyful days. It depends on what the activity is going to be. Let's say you're going to take them out for a play. You're going to have an amazing time. So you really have to it's like cutting a cord, but you're cutting that energy of writing, and now you're moving to the next subject. Okay, just like if you've been in university, you know how you're going from one subject to another subject, but you know there's a full stop because you're moving from one classroom to another classroom. Okay, so same thing with daily practice, because we do so many different things in a day. If you really look at it and write down how many roles you're in a day, it's unbelievable. Like, we have so many roles, okay? And it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You could be, as I said, you could be a parent, or you could be working in a certain environment, and then you have to switch constantly. Maybe you have to come home and clean, or maybe you have to make a meal, and then you have to go grocery shopping. There's personal stuff, and then there's meetings you may have. So there's so many different things in a day, but how do you switch from one task to another task? By being very consciously aware. And one tip I can give you is, between switching tasks, try to have a gap, especially if you're just learning how to integrate your energy and going from one task to another. So have like a 10 minutes gap. So let me give you an example. So since I'm a chiropractor, I see a lot of patients one after another. So my mind is like adjusting patients, aligning the patients, giving them health tips, also energetically shifting their body, and consciously like one and after another. So by the time I'm done, after let's say 4 or 5 hours, my body, if I don't intentionally shift myself, my body will be still in that treatment mode. My body will still think I have to help another person. My body will still remember that momentum. It's like, imagine you just went for a run and then you stop, your body's still thinking it has to run, right? So same thing as in, as I'm going back to the chiropractor job. So as I'm seeing these patients and then moving to the next task, let's say I'm done, now I have to have a meeting with my staff. I have to have few minutes break, okay? But eventually, as you're doing this on a regular basis, you're able to shut that off and go to the next thing. And you don't realize how much energy you will have on the next role. And your energy will be more focused. You'll be feeling less depleted at the end of the day. It's like a recharging. It's like you're recharging your battery between one role to another role. Or I can call it it's like meditating between one role to the other. And what you're doing is, when you're doing intentional talking to yourself, it has to be loud. You have to speak out loud that I am choosing to have a meeting right now. So you're really releasing. And before you go to the meeting, just feel the body as you're moving into the meeting. Energize your cells, because your cells, they operate like another brain, right? Because think about it, every single cell has its own nucleus. It has its own power of how to coordinate. And it just like, your brain is a nucleus for your body, our cells have their own brain. So if you're really engaging your body, like really viscerally feeling, I'm going to have a meeting right now with my staff, and we're going to have an amazing result, you're really not dragging that energy from being a practitioner to become a leader or a person who's holding a meeting, right? So you're switching, and now you see it. Like, let's say if I will start assessing your body at the end of the day, I can see a huge difference in a person who does that, who doesn't do that. Their body is much more relaxed. So when you're relaxed, what happens? You have less all these imbalances, you have more energy, and there's less likelihood for you to get sick, feel depleted, go into a burnout, nervous system burnouts, which is so common in most people, especially with people who have multiple things to do in a day, in a month, okay? So if you're a business owner, you have to market your business, and you have to talk with your staff, and you have to see clients, and then you have to get home, and you have so many different things. And if you don't know how to switch from one task to another task, by like few months, you're gonna get burned out. And I don't think so you want that. And it's being, again, it's consciously aware. And just ask yourself, look in your day, and what am I doing? How do I feel at the end of the day? Or after a few changing roles? How do I feel midday? Am I tired? Do I feel like an ADD, like all over it, like anxiety or like hyperactivity? Or am I feeling calm? no resistance in your body. And right now, if you're listening to me, I'm actually, as I'm talking to you, you can feel the shift in the energy. Just really relaxed, tapping at your heart center. Okay. Also, allowing yourself to feel the root chakra, because the root chakra is your foundation. And as you're feeling this, you can feel the energy going down into your feet, and you're bringing yourself back to the present moment. And when you're in the present moment, now you're like, okay, I'm ready. Let me do the meeting now. So try not to have one after another task. Try to have gaps between different roles so you have enough time to integrate your energy before you do your next task. Eventually, it becomes automatic for certain things. And I also want to talk about the autopilot. So when I'm talking about energy, right? Like, let's go back to the same scenario as a chiropractor. I'm adjusting patients after another, I'm aligning them. And my body is that, remember I said the memory, it's like autopilot. So it's still thinking it has to go see patients, right? And then I'm having a meeting. Let's say if I didn't do the intentional focused resetting, I will be scattered. Okay, not just scattered, not mentally scattered, energetically scattered. And a lot of people cannot sense that until you really work on yourself. You have to do certain inner work. You have to do meditation work where you really become attuned with your body and recognize when you're depleting. For example, for myself, I can recognize when my energy is being depleted right away. So I have to right away shift the task or consciously set certain intention to bring myself back. People ask me all the time, Dr. Rogini, how do you do all these different things? It's because I'm very consciously aware when my energy is going down. So when it's going down, I don't do anything. I'll step out. It doesn't matter what it is. I'll step out and bring myself back and then do the next thing. So how does it feel when you know your energy is depleted? It feels like, let's say, as I said, you gotta have to meditate in order to recognize that. It feels like your body is here, your mind is here, but something you're pulling, like you're pulling this heavy sack behind you. It feels heavy on your shoulders. It feels super, super heavy that you can't move forward. And then obviously people call that procrastination. Then you end up not doing the next thing or whatever you need to do for you probably have certain goals and you want to accomplish certain things. But if this is dragging behind you, you can't move forward. Okay. And speaking out loud is the key. So learn to speak out loud of your intentions. So say, I choose to do this. I'm choosing to do this at this time. And just sit with it for a second and feel it in your body. Another way of doing it, you can think like you're taking a magic pill. It's like more fun, okay? So you're like, I'm taking this magic pill. Right now, I'm choosing to be a mother. I just want to be a mom, and I just don't want to do anything else. So you're really stopping from that creative idea that needs to come in for related to your business. It can be overwhelming because if you don't do those stop, you might be doing fun activity with your kids and have you all these amazing ideas. And sometimes, like when your higher center is open, there's bombardments of information that will come through. Then you're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, let me do this. But if you don't have this clarity, it's like boundaries, setting boundaries, energetic boundaries with yourself. Okay. I just want to make sure I covered everything that I wanted to cover today. And Yeah, so I just want to remind you guys, I do have a course online that you can purchase, and it kind of shows you how to, it's like a guided way of how to cleanse your body, how to tune yourself, and practice on a regular day, on a regular basis. So this way, your energy becomes more clean and you can really align yourself with your goals, with your whatever you want to do in this lifetime. Okay. And we're distracted with bombardments of with so much information out there. There's so much information. In the back in the days, we will be bombarded with news, right? And newspapers and stuff like that. But now we have Instagram, we have YouTube, and it's like going walking in a library and you see all these books and you don't know what to choose, right? But when you're doing these constant cleansing and inner work stuff, you become clear what you want. You are able to choose exactly what you want. Let's say you're walking into a library or in a bookstore and you're like, okay, this is the book I want, because you know what you really need. Because sometimes there's so much information, you think, I need this, I need that, I need, like, it's your energy scattered again. And then you get exhausted and then you give up. And I don't want that for you. Like, I want you guys to be able to find yourself through clearing these energies that don't serve you, and so you can move forward and do the things that you really, really want to do. Okay, and one more thing, I'm having an in-person, for those who live locally, an in-person workshop that's coming on May 9th. It's only a 2-hour workshop. It's going to be spinal attunement, and it's all about focusing on your nervous system burnout. So bringing yourself back to the body and allowing yourself to be in the present moment and clearing that heavy energy on your energetic system. Okay? Thank you for watching. I'll see you back on the next video.